And we're back on the Mana Symbol channel. We had an unbelievably wonderful run with Freak You Nasty's version of Velomacheus PolyWarp. This is the version that was run by Raging Tilt Monster to a 22nd place. He ran this in the Sunday challenge to 22nd place. And let's talk about how it's different. So the biggest difference is that we have Yorion as a companion, which means we need to expand our deck to at least 80 cards. In this case, exactly 80 cards. It is 33% or 1/3 bigger. So one of the most important things that is going to get watered down is the Velomachus and Time Warp package. So brief recap: Velomachus Lorehold is 7 mana, 5 red white for a legendary creature, Elder Dragon, flying, vigilance, and haste. Whenever it attacks, look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value equal to or less than Velomachus's power from among them without paying its mana cost. The rest go to the bottom. So with this card, Savor the Moment and Time Warp exist as time walk effects where we take an extra turn and we can then attack with Velomachus again. And even though Savor the Moment has this extra rider where it says you skip the untap step of that turn, because this dragon friend has vigilance, that's not a problem. So if we can chain multiple time walks off Velomachus, then we'll be able to win the game possibly as soon as we get into play. To that end, we are using a Dwarven Mine mana base. Dwarven Mine is a mountain that puts a dwarf token into play if it comes into play untapped. And the way that you have it come into play untapped is by having 3 other mountains in play when it enters the battlefield. We use that alongside, in this case, 4 copies of Transmogrify and 2 copies of Polymorph. So these cards are going to destroy a creature, and then the player who owned that is going to flip through their deck until they get another creature and put that directly on the battlefield. Velomachus is our only one. So for 4 mana, we can get our dragon into play using basically any of our fetch lands. And our density of this effect is the same as it was in the previous deck, which was using Indomitable Creativity. The biggest difference with the expansion to 80 cards is we are playing the exact same number of Time Warps in a deck that is 33% larger, which means we are 33% less likely to hit. I believe that math checks out. I'm not sure. So what do we get for this? Well, we get the Yorion out of the sideboard. But Yorion in and of itself is not that good of a card. You need cards in play where Yorion's trigger that flickers them is valuable. To that end, we have Omen of the Sea. This is realistically the only card we have that takes significant advantage of Yorion. But you can reset it to Very Time Raveler that you've already minus to bounce something of your opponents. And Tamiyo, Collector of Tales, and Fires of Invention, these are the more important cards that this deck added. So Fires of Invention popped up in several Taking Turns deck, especially Temur one was of note. So that's red, green, and blue. So Fires of Invention is an enchantment that says you can cast spells only during your turn, and you can cast no more than 2 spells on each turn. So for 4 mana, you get this enchantment, and on that turn, assuming that you have 4 lands in play, which you should do, then you can immediately play a second 4 mana spell for free. And all your spells from this point on are no longer costing you mana, they're costing you these sort of fires activations, of which you have 2 on most turns. Savor the Moment becomes exponentially more powerful when you ignore the untap step rider on the card, and Fires of Invention lets you do that. So on turn 4 or even on turn 3 with a Farseek or an Explorer getting us up to 4 mana on turn 3, we can play the Fires of Invention, immediately Savor the Moment. Then the next turn we can Time Warp, and neither of those things are costing us mana. Wrenn and Six is another staple of those decks. Wrenn and Six upticks to pick up lands, which is super useful with fetch lands, but on top of that has the emblem, which goes infinite with any of these fetch lands, and especially makes that very, very easy with Fires of Invention. There's a couple of Valakut Awakenings in here. These are just generally useful in any kind of combo deck. Wrenn and Six is also a great card to go with this. And as I mentioned earlier, Tamiyo Collective Tales is another card that we get to play here. Excellent in Taking Turns decks because she is 2 blue and green for a legendary Planeswalker Tamiyo. She has a static effect, which is occasionally insanely powerful, which says spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. So that gives us some insulation against Kaya's Guile and a few other important things. She's got a plus that says you choose a non-land card name, you reveal the top 4 cards of your library, you put all cards with the chosen name from among them into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. This can be useful for retracing with Wrenn and Six or a number of other effects, most of which we're not playing. But her -3 is return target card from your graveyard to your hand, so you can use this for another Time Warp or Savor the Moment, which is going to give your dragon more time to win the game. And we also have Jace the Mind Sculptor. So this deck is a deck that can combo off on turn 3 or 4 to put this giant dragon into play, which exploits a bunch of Time Walk spells to kill our opponent in sort of one shot. But we also have the Temur Taking Turns Fires of Invention shell in here, and Teferi Time Raveler to help protect us, just because it's one of the best cards in the format. We got Jace the Mind Sculptor, so we have an easy out against Infinite Life, anything like Heliod. We've got some timely reinforcements against aggro, Cleansing Wildfire against big mana, Veil of Summers against discard decks, and etc. And Chalice of the Void hopefully can protect us against the hyper-aggressive prowess decks. I'm not 100% sure exactly how we're going to sideboard when we get there. We'll try to figure that out as we go. So this is a very slightly different version of the 60-card version I've been playing over the last couple days. The 60-card version was playing quite a different card in the creativity. Indomitable creativity is actually fairly different in terms of some of the things that it can do rather than Transmogrify and Polymorph. And with the Indomitable creativity comes the Prismari command, which I've been really liking. But that's not to say that this Yorion Velomachus PolyWarp deck isn't a great version of this. So we're going to find out just how easy it is to play on the first go and how good it can be. Evening, Roybert. Hope the world is treating you well, friend. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Last seen on Hammer Time. One of the other major changes between this deck and the previous list is the total lack of cheap interaction, which does allow us to play things like Chalice of the Void out of the sideboard, but I'm inclined to keep this hand, even though it's kind of lackluster. Opponent's also on a Yorion deck, and we're on the play, so there's a good chance we have the advantage on the early game. Let's find out. Pedro Gush is our opponent. Misty Rainforest, okay? Opponent is not likely on the same list that we are on. Looks like some kind of Mana Dork deck. Abundant Growth, okay. Could be Niv. Basic Forest, not as likely, but they played the play Abundant Growth with the Misty Rainforest. So they could be on basically any of the Yorion decks that are playing some number of green cards. I need to get a Stomping Grounds here. We absolutely will not be able to play this Teferi next turn, and that's probably okay. Obviously, Basura understands what this channel is about. I am going to disappear after this deck for all of your information and go watch the new Mortal Kombat movie. I've been promised that it is worthy of getting in nerd fights over, so I'm excited for that. A just and noble cause, exactly. Farseek. So next turn we'll have Teferi plus Omen of the Sea. I've got my mana set up for pretty much all of that. I'll need to get another blue. It doesn't look like my opponent's on something particularly aggressive, so looking good. I'm wondering when I'm going to see them start vomiting out creatures, but again, I had Wrenn and Six on the play against them, so they might be taking it easy. More abundant growths. Okay, so no acceleration at all. Okay. Explore will set me up for yeah, I think I know what I want to do with this turn. So Teferi will let me play an instant speed Explore on this turn cycle, which means I could just hard cast Velomachus next turn. And if there's any type of removal they're going to have that's going to remove my Teferi, it's probably going to tap them down in such a way that they're not going to be able to deal with my big dragon. Again, if anyone's concerned that I didn't play the Explorer, oh, right. Ha! Explorer is not Growth Spiral. I can't do what I wanted to do here. That's fine. It'll be fine. We're going to Omen into what we need and win the game anyway. I didn't want to tap down. You can. I can't play lands on my opponent's turn. I know I could play the Explorer, but I can't play the land. Sorry, that's what I was commenting on when I said it's not Growth Spiral. So Explorer says you may play an extra land this turn, but I'm not allowed to play lands on my opponent's turn. Period. So it doesn't matter if I give myself 8 extra land plays on my opponent's turn. I'm not allowed to play any lands on my opponent's turn. Nahiri. That doesn't affect anything I have in play, so this is fine. So we are looking to rip into something good here, but we have multiple draws. We have Teferi, we have Omen of the Sea, so should be able to find something I'm excited about here. If we find a Time Warp, I think the game is basically going to be very close to over in a hurry. Yeah, I just well-done myself, obviously, Basura, but that's why I'm here, to make these mistakes so that people out there on the internet don't have to. I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. Okay. There we go. Okay. So get a Dwarven Mine. No, we're gonna shuffle first. We're shuffling first, so it's we're not gonna actually show off our entire deck. But I mean, we were already planning on showing off enough of it, I think. So I'll Transmogrify first, see what ends up happening with this. If I have to bounce my Omen of the Sea afterwards or some such, we'll figure that out when we get there. It's dragon time. I think I'll just go ahead and attack my opponent. I'm not worried about the Nahiri right now. Velomachus is not tapped. We hit the Time Warp anyway, so I think this game is just over. So because we hit the Time Warp, I'm going to go plus Explore, play the next land. I did just put a Savor the Moment on the bottom, so I'm going to fetch right now to shuffle that back in. The deck is huge in this build. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage in my hand if I want next turn. I think putting them to 1 will be valuable if I have to. There's a good chance we'll just win next turn, but I think trying to maximize it is not a bad thing. Okay, it's over. I'm just going to show them quickly, and then if they don't concede, that's fine. Got him. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a lot of Zoomers in my chat. We got a special emote for you guys. Oh, no, not that one. I'm not good at this. See? That's how you know I'm a boomer. There we go. There's the Zoomer emote. Hello, fellow children. I bet you know what's good in the formats. I am very much alike in you with many ways. Yep. So Jace the Mind Sculptor, I think, is bad against whatever. Yeah, we're going to score goals. We're going to score the memes. I think Jace is probably not so good in whatever matchup this is, and I think I want to bring in Cleansing Wildfire. Maybe that's not correct. Honestly, I don't really know what they're up to, and I could bring in Chalice of the Void for like all of these abundant growths and stuff that I'm seeing, but I really don't want to do that on the draw. And then maybe we cut a Tamiyo. Although they might be playing discard post board. Not that discard is particularly scary for us. What is my last cut? Valakut Awakening seems okay in a sort of unknown situation. Yeah, I think it's just cut a Tamiyo, even though she's darn good. I could cut an Explorer because I clearly don't know how to play the card, but on the draw, I'd rather have Mow faster. I guess I'm cutting a lot of 4-drops and I'm keeping all my 4-drop acceleration, so maybe that doesn't make any sense. I apologize to whoever is I'm actually level 1. My co-host on this week's episode called you I am actually 1v1, and I did not correct him because I thought it was funny, so I just left it in. That name has to be I'm actually level 1. Can't be I'm actually 1v1. Yikes. Alright, going to 5. We're on a Wrenn and Six deck, but we're on an 80-card Wrenn and Six deck. Luckily, it came together, so... Savor is actually an okay card to keep, normally, but I think I'm going to do it like this. No, we can keep the Savor over the Explorer. If Wrenn and Six gets countered or killed quickly, we'll certainly be in trouble, but we had to mull to 5 there, so... Yikes. Dragon loves being in my hand in this deck. He really does. I like you, Dragon. I just don't like you like that. It's more of an arm's length kind of thing. No! Alright, fine. That sucks. I think we should see other dragons. Exactly. Gee, you don't think you're going to take my Wrenn and Six, huh? Alright. Yeah, not the worst draw. It's funny because we're playing the 80-card deck where we should draw the dragon less, and we've drawn it both games already. What do you got, nerd? Wrenn and Six? Sprawl? Sure. Moto's broken? We know that. We know Moto's broken. So are they holding up Kazga? I would bet. I would bet they have Kazgal. If they are, in fact, on Niv Mizzet, which I assume that they are. Perfect. So we're just going to get to hold them sort of ransom with the fetch land. They always have to leave 3 mana up for now. And then we get to jam this Tamiyo. Tamiyo can pick up Wrenn and Six, so we might be off to the races here. Also, Tamiyo will be able to insulate us from future Thought Seizes or Kaya's Guile as a way to have us sacrifice our creature. With the plan that I have, I don't need to put a dwarf into play. But I don't need to not. We've got a lot of Dwarven Mines in the deck, so I'm not particularly concerned about burning one and sort of distracting my opponent with this. There's a reasonable shot that if they don't really understand what we're up to, they might make some kind of misplay with it. The number one thing I am not going to do with this dwarf token is Transmogrify it right now. That's nonsense. They kept all their mana up for multiple turns. There's just no way that's going to turn out well for me in any way, shape, or form. I would not assume that my opponent has no plan. They may not be the man, but I think they have the plan. They're the man, 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 they're the man. I'm looking at the man. All right, I think I'm just gonna go Time Warp here. I don't really know what I want, and I'd rather go upstairs with her. If they have a Assassin's Trophy or something like that, I guess that's a small punish. But then that's something that they're using on Tamiyo and not on my Velomachus. Also, I might be able to cast the Velomachus next turn, so... And then if their removal was Kaya's Guile, they can't hit it when I have the Dwarf token. So, lots of different ways things are working out okay for us right now. Do 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 do. I could have picked up my Wrenn and Six there. I was just worried about them having Lightning Helix. This guy. This guy. Sorry, I didn't specifically explain that I was worried about down ticking because of Lightning Helix, because I really would like to keep the Tamiyo for a second. It's got a lot of potential upsides. What do you got? Maybe in game 2 I should have Veil of Summer against the Niv deck, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. It's okay. I guess blowing out a down tick from a Valky's pretty good. And Assassin's Trophy doesn't help against Kaya's Guile. Does help against Thoughtseize, so plenty good, plenty of eh. Okay. I think I'd rather tick up the Tamiyo, especially with the next land in my hand. But if I'm going to tick up Tamiyo, what am I going to name? I haven't hit a Time Warp yet, so let's go for Time Warp. Let's do it again. No Time Warp. Hit Cleansing Wildfire, more Wrenn and Six. All right, that's unfortunate. All right. Most removal they have here, I'm not super concerned about getting blown out by, so let's go for it. If they have another Lightning Helix, they have another Lightning Helix. If they have a Trophy or a Kaya's Guile, just straight up doesn't work. Yeah, it's just another Helix. But that's fine, because that's not being pointed at my Tamiyo. And we can just down tick Tamiyo, pick it back up again, and do it again next turn. Or, you know, pick up a land and just cast this Velomachus in our hand. So I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be all right. I think we're going to be all right. Now they have to cast something proactive. I guess they've run out of removal. Yep. You got it, buddy. Draws a card. Uh-oh. Oh, no. No Bring to Light, please. Niv's actually a problem, because Niv can block my dragon. Hey, Skull Clamp with the tier 1 sub. Thanks, friend. You were around for that crazy hype train last night, both in the literal and figurative sense. That was amazing. Thank you for being part of that. Oh no. They're gonna get my dragons. Alright, so now we have to win by taking turns exclusively, which is much more difficult. Yep. That's unbelievable timing. Well done, opponent. Well done. On the plus side, we can win this way, but with an Omnath in play that I haven't had a way to deal with yet, that's kind of annoying. I do have dwarf tokens to block it. I've already got my Tamiyo. Tamiyo picks up Wrenn and Six. Wrenn and Six lets me generate a few more dwarves, so maybe we dig out of this. Teferi's just an excellent draw. Thank you, deck. Thank you very much.
Is that what I think it is? Mm-hmm. I found a penny!
Ooh, fires. Okay. That could be really nice next turn. Oh, there's a Dwarven Mine in here already. Okay. And then is there also... Yeah, there's another Stomping Ground in my deck. In fact, there's at least one Stomping Ground in my deck. Alright, Stomping Ground, Dwarven Mine, trigger... Explore. Nice. Okay, now we're cooking with propane. Okay, so my graveyard, we need to keep track of what time walks we've hit and in what order. So there's just one Savor the Moment in the graveyard, one in my hand. So Tamiyo's going to take up to Time Warp for the next probably 2 or 3 turns. Little bit of symbol in your life. Little bit of crab stand, all I need. Skull Clamp, empty, MTG. I feel like the Mambo number 5 parody for Magic would have to be just all different names of planeswalkers. A little bit of sucking, I'm your man. A little bit of bolus. Yeah, a little bit of Tamiyo in my life. Nisagaric Vivian. Time Warp. Let's do it again. So this hand is gross, huh? This hand is like literally disgusting. I think we've won the game with it already. We'll see. Just grab a Steam Vents, I guess. Well, I should grab something that thins me, right? Yeah. Plus Teferi. Second Dwarven play, just in case we need to start beating down, which in theory we're gonna need to eventually. Only interested in 2-syllable planeswalkers for this song. I mean, there's a lot of them, but more importantly, if you're clever about the way you write it, I think you can fit in others. I'm not 100%, but I think so. You can. You just don't think Karn deserves a spot. That's a little rude, isn't it? I mean, Karn Liberated is a jerk, sure, but it's not his fault. If people were paying retail for Karn, that card would be, you know, not upsetting. But unfortunately, nobody pays full retail value for Karn. He's a cheap worker of industry. my first spell. Yeah, okay. The Planeswalkers are making it feel like I'm casting more spells per turn, but I'm really not. Okay, that's a great pickup. Because that means I can use this one for a time walk and then play the second one. So we're there. We have gone on infinite turns now. I need not explain why I hate Karn the Great Creator. I mean, I understand that one. I love Karn the Great Creator, but I do find his static text to be totally obnoxious. So I'm with you there. Deep 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 beep deep beep 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 do 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 beep beep. Opponent, why not concede? Maybe they haven't realized yet. Okay, we're good on spells on this turn. Like, it may just be possible they don't know. And it's fine. I don't mind executing here. I could put on the combo music, although this combo deck, since it's going over multiple turns, doesn't feel like it's a machine. So I feel like that song is less appropriate. Why not kill? We're gonna kill. We're gonna start killing them right now. Unless you're talking about by getting Velomachus. I don't have any Velomachuses in my deck right now. They took them away from me. They took away my toys. My opponent decided to have the gall to play Unmoored Ego, and so I'm gonna cast, pick that up. All right, easy peasy. I have a Teferi in play, so there's just literally nothing they can do. Should be the concession should be here. Technically, they don't need to concede until I have Wrenn and Six Emblem and a Wrenn and Six, and they know I have a land in my hand. So that was, in fact, the correct moment for them to concede. Until that point, it was not deterministic. We're trucking, buddy. We're trucking. Blitz, what is that heart emote? I only just noticed it. Is that a rainbow rocket heart? And if so, is it a metaphor for your penis? I don't care either way. I'm just interested. I was feeling slightly deflated about how the stream was going the other week, and then I not only was last night amazing, but on top of that, I went back and like looked at the stream stats from a couple months ago, and then I went all the way back to last year, and I was like, oh, we're just still consistently growing, and there's nothing to. Oh, hey, Shauna. We're sometimes it's important to go back and actually check what it looked like, a year ago or what have you, and really come a long way. Jump up and down, move it all around. Opponent has no companion. They're probably playing the Gruul Karn deck from the weekend with Sprawl in play. So Fires of Invention might end up being really important if they're going to turn to Blood Moon me. which is actually interesting that this deck has pivoted in this specific direction at this time. I say pivot, but I mean, it does mean I won't be able to generate a dwarf token. But I mean, I really can't worry about that at the moment. So let's just mitigate some life loss a little bit. Why is there a rainbow unicorn head on your screen? Is there a rainbow unicorn head on your screen? There's not one on the stream on my end. I'm okay with it if there is, but I just don't know what you're talking about, brother. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. Explore. Do I want to make myself like look more vulnerable to their Blood Moon if they have one? Because if they start hitting me with pillages and such, I'm actually going to be more annoyed by that than Blood Moon. At this point, Blood Moon's just kind of hilarious. Oh my. Very well then. That's a hand. My opponent didn't keep a hand. They kept a foot. Yeah. Alright. So let's get a dwarf into play this turn. So that, to make sure that I can. And then we're playing Fires into Tamiyo. And then next turn we're going to play Valakut Awakening into whatever. I want to name one of my 4-ofs. I want to name a 4-of that's going to be really good. I guess Teferi Time Raveler would be really nuts. Because I can bounce one of their sprawls and really mess with them. There was a Transmogrify that I missed there, but I can just down-tick Tamiyo on that. So we're in an unbelievable position to just win this game this turn. They can't Pillage to stop me. They can't Blood Moon to stop me. So realistically, the best thing they could play is like Bloodbraid Elf into... I don't even know what. There's really not that much that will stop me. Bloodbraid Elf into Blood Moon? Nope, that won't do it. I don't know. My heart goes out to you, opponent, because this is looking bad. Okay. Season Pyromancer's pretty good. Okay. Gonna hit some lands, and lands are good. Bolt? Well, what do they bolt? Do they bolt my token? Do they bolt my Planeswalker and then attack it, I guess? But then I block. Because I could just make another dwarf to Transmogrify this turn. Yeah, so I'm going big sexy dragon on them. But I'm also going to bounce their Arbor Elf, probably. I guess I could bounce the Pyro. Before I bounce anything, I should probably attack them with the dragon. So let's go grab the Transmog. Cast it. Oh, if I cast anything off the dragon, I won't... Okay, so I have to not cast anything now? Right, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so you gotta be careful with Fires and Velomachus. These are good things to know. That's... Alright. So keep your eye out for that. Anyone who plays this deck, Velomachus' trigger requires you to be able to cast it. And by be able to, I mean not have used Fires already. Okay, so we hit a Savor. That's insane. So I'll cast that. Hit my opponent for 5. Tamiyo gives me a second time walk if I need it. Cool. So let's just go to my next turn. Go attack again. Did my opponent offer me a quick soul meld? They did not, but they should have done. Do I want to cast any of these spells? No, I do not. But what I will do is use Tamiyo to pick up Savor. Play... I guess let's play Omen. Wait, I haven't taken an extra turn yet, right? But I'm going to play 2 spells this turn. So I'm going to play Savor. I'm going to play Omen. There's a Savor. Okay, so it's just over. Roy, we'll watch Rick and Morty after the pandemic together. I don't guarantee you'll love all of it, but it's a good show. Got him. Wow, we hit all the time warps. So whatever the difference in percentage. No, Roy, you'd have fun if it was like with a friend, I think. Like I don't know if you'd like to watch it that much on your own. I think you'd be like, whatever. But it's fun to watch with other people. It's a good show. Okay. So Timely, I think, is probably the card to play here. I guess I could play Chalice. There aren't a lot of cheaper spells. Are you familiar that Roy in Russian means swarm? I didn't know that. But a Roy sounds terrifying. A swarm of Roys. I don't really want to play Chalice on the draw. And Cleansing Wildfire on our own lands doesn't actually work. Although I could bring it in to attack their lands with, but that's actually not, probably not where we want to be. Tamiyo once again doing good work though. That's crazy. I didn't expect that at all, but makes sense. Fires was instrumental there and really helps us. This deck is very, very fun, you mad. It is very, very fun. There's one thing Roy could definitely be defined as. It's a cluster. Does it also mean pod? Does it also mean... trying to think of more animal groups. School? Hey!
You can run, but you can't glide.
Loverboy B with that sick rate of 1. Welcome, welcome. Murder, Parliament, yeah. Alright, I guess I'd rather fetch a Triland. If we're getting Blood Moon, it's not going to matter, but this does help me dodge a Pillage. So, potentially. Uh-huh. I just need them not to have a turn 2 Blood Moon. I don't need them to. In theory, I have a Fires, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to turn 4 on the draw. Yeah, there it is. Well, at least my game's very straightforward. Oh, no. Oh, they're gonna have liquid metal coating. We're just dead. Yikes. Yeah. Yeah, alright. So, total lack of early interaction really pantses us there. Would I rather have Chalice on the play? I think so. What am I getting ready for? Would I rather have Chalice on the play? Maybe not. An Unkindness of Ravens. Yeah, that's the good stuff. A Shrewdness of Apes. Yeah, all right, let's keep the Timely. It's more likely to be able to defend my Planeswalker for oh, Exaltation of Larks. That's the name of the book, right? That's what you call a group of nerds, right, Roy? They're super fluidity. Yeah, that's the name. Yeah, Exaltation of Larks. Yep, this is the key. Mace Trolley? Mactually? Oh, actually. That's amazing. That's a fantastic pun. Holy crap. I can't even. That's great, Shauna. Oh. Anyone in the future, read the chat for all the wonderful jokes. I'm actually of nerds though. I mean that's next level, dude. That's pretty amazing. Not gonna lie, Roy. That's killer. Okay, so that means I get up to 4 mana. If they do in fact have a turn 2 Blood Moon, that's not going to be great for us because I don't have a Fires this game. But I don't really think it was reasonable to just mull to it. But we'll see. It's definitely going to be problematic if they have it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Putting Yorion in my hand is not particularly useful, but I mean, nothing really is anymore. As I said with the previous list, we were vulnerable to Blood Moon. That continues to be the case. All right, so we basically got one shot at the Fires. Because the problem is if I don't draw the Fires this turn, I guess I could draw lands on running turns. So if I draw runner lands, that could be something. But this just seems like a poor matchup for us, the way this deck is constructed. The other one has a bit more of a shot with the Prismari commands and Force Negations. We play one Snow-Covered Mountain and one one regular mountain. There's no island and there is no... yeah, and I can't do anything with this. There's no island, there's no nothing. The other deck was sort of hedged for this with the sideboard Aether Gusts and sideboard Aether Gusts and Force of Negation. This deck is just helpless here. I suppose the idea is that you have Fires of Invention, which is supposed to help dig you out. You also have 2 copies of whatever it's called. Yeah, but in practice, we can see how that's really not effective, right? Okay, so now that they got the liquid metal coating, They have the Pithing Needle and Handle ready, so they just play the Needle on Wrenn and Six. They play the Coating, and we're done. So unfortunately, like Gruul mid-range was not very popular before the last week or so. So it's not insane to have a deck like this that has like little to no plan here. But it is unfortunate to be in this situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just want to see if I draw. Come on. Yeah. Cool. So nice, easy loss. Game 1, they kind of stumbled, but game 2 and 3, their game plan was just right on track, and we can't beat it at all. So not surprised to lose that one. Alrighty. Let's rock and rumble.
Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. Ring, ring, ring with the bell. Zing, zing, zing with my heartstrings.
Thank you.
Thank you for the follow there, Westminster. Westminster N. Oh, trophy leader. Someone who's on the board, way up there. Ice, ice, ice. Have I checked out Mortal Kombat? I'm gonna watch it after the stream. That's the plan. Yikes. Going to 5. Yeah, this is the first. Ooh. Well, okay, it's not so bad. Does that make sense? I think it does. Oh, no! Of course. Opponent keeps 7. Bang, Tron. Yeah, I love that Tron players I've been playing against recently have seemed to do that more often. Oh, it's E-Tron. Okay, this is winnable. Got it. Excellent. Love that. Hey, Larynx. Uh-oh. One smashy boy coming in. We can still win on turn 4? Yeah, we can. I mean, without acceleration, it's going to be a little less... whatever. Let's go, team. Omen. Omen of the seas. Omen of the seas. Omen of the seas. These cards all suck, and I don't want all of them, but I must take one of them. I guess I could Savor into the land drop, so just use Savor as an explorer, and then I get to play Fires on the turn after. Although Fires into Savor is probably the best. All right, keep that. It doesn't let me Farseek this turn, but I guess I don't need to. Well, that's good. That's real good. Okay. So savoring now just doesn't do anything for me. Farseek's not going to do much in the future, but so second Smasher doesn't kill me. Okay, Karn won't do much. So okay. Oh, that's fine. I don't have any of those. They're not to know that. Okay, so we go Steam Events. Cast Fires. Savor. Pass the turn. Oh, you should say savor more often. It's delicious. Play a Tamiyo. Pick up Savor. Gotta savor the flavor. Gotta savor the savor. So I think this turn we go Tamiyo for Time Warp. And then if I don't hit, I can use Teferi to bounce Smasher. Hopefully they don't have the last Tron land, then they can play more than enough stuff to kill me. Did not hit. Hit a second Saber, which, you know, obviously is the way that's going to go. Can Farseek first? Yeah, but then if I draw something here like this, I wouldn't be able to cast it, which, I mean, I think playing the Omen is better than the 0.0001% of thinning. So I'm going to go with that. We got to go bottom, and just pray that we survive a turn. If I do survive a turn, things are looking kind of okay. So I don't need to fetch Error again. This is just too easy for them to have a Ballista here. If they have the last Tron land, I'm super dead. Although they played a Chalice, they can't play map. Uh-huh. Yeah, no. Why wouldn't you is it Ulamog? What are they exiling? Because this doesn't kill me this turn. I mean, it's really good, but I mean, I'm not dead. Okay. Interesting. Like, if I flip a Polymorph or a Transmog, I'm good to go. And I have a couple shots at it, so. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this one first. It says destroy, Roy. So I don't recommend doing that. Oh, sorry. Transmogrify says exile. Sorry. Polymorph says destroy. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, no. I mean, you pulled it up, and then I looked at it, so I saw that it did that, but I just wasn't expecting it. That's not normal. So the question is, do I savor the moment and then bounce their Ulamog? I think I do. It's going to keep me alive for another turn. Yep. And then if they play Smasher, I can block it with a Dwarf. And then... yeah. I'm crazy, opponent. Don't mess with me. I'm crazy. Well, that's the thing, though. It should exile. And the reason it, quote-unquote... oh, no. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They have exactly enough mana to play the Ulamog and the Smasher. So if they want to, they can just exile both my Dwarf tokens and then Smasher and killed me. If you not Wrenn, you had mana to do the thing. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. I wanted to get it ticking up you mad because Wrenn into infinite time walks was one of the ways we could have won there. Although I guess I don't have the fires anymore, so it doesn't. Oh. Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, nothing mattered. They had insanity. Yeah. Scry. I mean, I have to shock to Scry right now. And at no point previous to now did I have the mana to do anything. Like I couldn't have, I could have scryed if I had a Fires of Invention still, but when I, by the time I could start scrying, I was gonna, I couldn't. Unless, did I have all my mana untapped when they blew up the fires? Could I have won there if Dragon hit? Yeah, I think so, you mad. If you plan on scooping, it didn't matter anyway. Well, what did you want me to do? Fetch, shock, scry? Because it costs blue mana. And they were about to play a Smasher and kill me. So, unless you're saying do it earlier, but I don't think I had mana up earlier. Unless I'm much mistaken. Maybe the turn where they exiled my fires, I had mana? I don't remember having mana, but I could have. Yeah, the dragon's amazing. It's very, very powerful. We've seen that the 60 card version of this deck has a reasonable matchup against Etron. And so I'm interested to see if this is any better. Man, we just can't find any 2-minute spells. They also got to keep their 7, and it was pretty nuts. Yeah, well, the dragon having vigilance is a huge part of the reason it's been good, right? Because without that, it wouldn't be as good with Savor the Moment. Did Raymond Swanland do all the dragon cards? I assume not at all, but it's possible. Yeah, I have no idea, dude. You're gonna have to look it up. I don't know. It's not the kind of thing I usually pay too much attention to. I don't even think he did Velomachus Lorehold. It's not spiky enough. I mean, it says he did it, but I just don't believe that. There's no spikes. Miss Brenton, exactly. Why you gotta do my boy Raymond Swanland like that? So dirty. So dirty. Right, I'm really hoping that they kept their hand on the back of this stuff being relevant. The Tron lands being relevant. Because we are taking a lot of damage on this hand, unfortunately. Spiky where it counts. I don't want to know about what you know about Dragon Anatomy. Yikes. Okay. Battery Shaper? Okay. Warping Whale. Okay. That'll sure keep my Teferi in check. He said what he said. I said what I said, how I said it. If your hand is all fire, is all land, fire said no downside. This is true. Miniature catfish with the important observations. Fires. Let's go. Let's go. Have you ever eaten rambutan? It's probably my favorite fruit. It looks like a spiky kid's toy. I've seen spiky fruits at the Asian grocery store that's nearby, but I don't think that they're rambutan. I think they're the one that's supposed to smell really bad. I can't remember what it's called. Nice! Yeah, durian, that's the one. Isn't Felix got caught on Strixhaven art tracing Raymond's Sea Lands and another artist's work? Okay, interesting. There's been a bunch of art controversy recently with stuff like that. It's really weird. Like I'd never ever heard of it happening before with Magic stuff at least, and all of a sudden just all the times. All right. So I can play Yorion this turn cycle. But if this Teferi draws me something, then I'll play the Yorion afterwards anyway. So let's plus this just cause. Play this. I said play this, play this. Oh, we get to draw 2, so it's worth doing. Nice. That's phenomenal. Savor the flavor. Yeah! Get him, Dwarfy! Get him! Death comes for you! Alright. Oh, right, my dwarf doesn't untap. That's fine, I'll get another one. Omen. Trigger. It tastes good, but you don't want to look at it. There we go. Oh no, I don't have any spell casts left this turn. Awkward. Well, hopefully that's not gonna be a problem. Yeah. Why is there a temporary zone? What is happening? Is my opponent being instructed to look at the cards? I bet they are. Its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card, period. Yeah, Moto's just being, actually... Look at the cards. Look at the cards! Looks at the cards. Alright, so this is going to be sad because I'm not allowed to cast any of these. Yeah. No. Rats. The purple one, Uba Bread, is my favorite, says Skullclamp. I like taiyaki, the fish waffles. The Korean grocery store in downtown Toronto, Pat, has an amazing poster, which I have a picture of somewhere, where it says there's no fish like a fish waffle, and it just tickles me. It just sounds like such a good Troy McClure kind of. Oh no, not I'm so pissed. This is gonna be freaking all his dust again. How do they always have their 2 of? Unless they're just pumping me. You just did this. You didn't tap him wrong. What are you doing? Oh, it's Ugin. Okay, that's fine. Gonna kill my Velomachus? That's fine. I'm not upset. Sucks, but I'm not upset. Yeah. I think they pumped that they had the all his dust. Maybe they forgot they were gonna cast Ugin, but yeah, fish waffles are amazing, dude. Amazing. Oh, well, I mean, I guess we could do that. Yes, there's no fish in a fish waffle. But yeah, they're like waffles. They're like crisply golden fried batter, and they enclose either red bean paste, custard, which I always choose, and there's another type of bean paste. Roy probably remembers. I'm not adventurous. I just like the custard because I'm very, very white. Red bean. Yeah, but there's another one, right? No, there's another one. There's a last one. I'm sure of it. Flicker my dragon just for fun. No, wait, no. The problem this turn was the spell limit off of fires. I guess I'll keep it to Teferi. Yeah. All right, I need them now, not to help the Allah's Dust. No, there's a third flavor, dude. I can't remember what it is, but it exists. Now they have the Allah's Dust. They always did. They just didn't cast it last turn on purpose for whatever reason. I guess they didn't feel like they needed to. They can get more out of me by doing it now. Well, so we're down both our dragons. Realistically, I don't think it's not Oreo. It's some kind of bean paste or something. No. It's none of those things. No. I'm not. Is it like purple something? I want to say it's purple something, but I think that's the red bean paste. I just think there's something else. Damn, we just got stomped there. Jesus. You realize red bean paste miniature catfish is like a thing for pastries, right? Like not savory pastries. Bean Affleck. All right, you're all right. No, it's not those things. Damn it, I'm not gonna remember what it is. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm getting pictures of the taiyaki though. All right. Taiyaki. They're unbelievably delicious. Kevin's taiyaki, yeah. It didn't help. They don't have a menu, at least not easily on the thing I found. Oh, sorry, Tarn Scarf. No. Sorry. I'll get you the free rebates. Sorry. Didn't boot up my extra board. I keep this hand. Okay. Opponent mulled. They're on Yorion. Yeah, I'm gonna mulligan too. Yeah. Hand kind of sucks. On the draw, I'd like a 2-mana spell. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one. All right. My 2-mana spell may be... Well, I get to keep Explore and Omen. All right. Bought on the Time Warp. And the Tamiyo? Yeah, I'll keep the fires. Because we'll have an Omen of the Sea in play, so... Windswept Teeth into nothing. I don't know what to make of that, but I'm going to play. The Ketria Triome. Opponent might be on Nimbisit again, I guess. Pastry's called taiyaki in Japan, but bungeo bang in Korea? Then why is the place at Pat calling it taiyaki? Pat's a Korean grocer, right? Although maybe it's a Japanese stall at the Korean grocer, which I guess would make as much sense as anything else in this world. In the best way. Like, that's just great. Yeah. Yikes. Not what you want to see. But, alright. So getting to the fires earlier is probably the best thing to do, especially with that draw. It's Korean, but people mainly know it as taiyaki. So it came to the Western world through Japan. Neat. There it is. There it is. There's the ad. There's no fish in a fish waffle. I adore that so much. So goddamn much. Oh, there you I love that you found it exactly when I found it. That's funny. What did they do this turn? Nothing? Did they do nothing? You can't have done nothing, opponent. That's nonsense. They just picked up the land. Okay. I'm going to try to focus on this matchup magic I'm meant to be playing. Emphasis on try. No, but I found it on my own, Roy, while you ended up finding it on your own. Like, that was like, I just scrolled down a little bit from where I was at. They're gonna trophy? Please trophy right now. Thus making it possible for me to play more spells this turn. Even though I won't have any mana. Yeah, thank you. It doesn't matter, but like, that's really strange timing. They could have waited until my end stop. Like, if I had a 1-mana red sorcery, I could play it now. Not that there's anything particularly relevant that we could play, but yikes. Wow. Okay. That's a good draw. So I can Time Warp, and if I draw one more land, we could just cast Velomachus. Found it through Yelp. You found it through some other shit. Nice. Other shit is better than Yelp. Yelp's generally kind of crappy. Not a Yelp fan. No, my dwarf. Super effective. Well, Roy, that's super. One of the guys I was working at the restaurant had a phone case with Magikarp Taiyaki on it, which is just A+. Magikarp Taiyaki, yes. What is happening here? What are you doing? What? Why would you? Okay. Alright, let's top deck an untap land. This will be really, really good if we do. Come on, baby. Come on. I mean... Alright, let's top deck an untapped land. It'll be really, really good if we do. That'll do it. Better eat it before it turns into a dragon / flying waffle. That's a bunch of words. Should I attack their Wrenn and Six because I'm a coward? Nah. Although I've cast a lot of time warps already. Alright, I'm gonna attack their Wrenn and Six. If I end up losing because I run out of steam too early, that's on me. But okay, we just straight up didn't hit anything. So this was actually the sort of correct way to do it. All right. Well, that sucks. But they've already played a trophy, and they didn't pick up a land last turn. They've used the Windswept Heath on every other turn so far. So it's possible they won't have their 5th land. If they do have their 5th land, they could choose to do the wrong thing with it. So, or something that is not what I expect. This is super unfortunate, though. Never quite got why Gyarados was water flying, even though it looked like a dragon. And it also is one of the few Pokemon that actually has a dragon type move, Roy. So yeah, it definitely should be a dragon. But they never triple typed back in the day. I'm still waiting for them to do double typed moves. Although they finally split up physical and special properly, where you can have like a dark physical attack or a dark special attack, a fire physical attack and a fire special attack, a normal physical attack and a normal special attack. But I mean, it's just one of those things they always should have had. Triple typing and double type moves are still sort of room for them to go with. But they have done like some cool stuff over time. When they had the I think it was Gen 4, where they had the starter Pokemon had the normal rotation where your rival picks one that's strong against yours, and then the last one is the one you're strong against. But then they would evolve into a second, their second evolution would get a type that worked in the other direction, which was pretty cool. Okay, so I'm guessing they're going to get Valky here and grab my Velomachus. Yeah. So this kind of sucks. Unless for Gen 124. Yeah, they gotta save some ideas in the tank, right? Yeah, it was kind of cute. But it was weird, right? Because, like, you're not supposed to have an edge against your rival. It's, it was one of those things where I was like, I mean, I guess it's clever, but it's like, I don't really think that's... it's not really what we're meant to be doing here. So let's take up a name Savor the Moment, because if I hit one, I can grab my fires next turn. Nope. Yes, yeah, lots. Oh, was I someone? No, I named my rival Gary in Gen 1. Because that was his name. And my character's name was Ash. It wasn't me. I was playing Ash. That's what I thought. You know the really crazy people, Roy, were the people who named their character red or blue, and the other person's the opposite. They hit my Savor of the Moment? Is that what just happened? Yeah. Well, that could be bad. You weren't Ash in Gen 1, though. Red and blue are different characters. Well, the opponent, or the rival definitely looked like Gary, as far as I remember it. That's what I was surprised about when I was a youngin'. Definitely look the same. Yeah. Like, that was my point, is I'm like, why are they not calling him Gary when he's clearly him? Right. All right. So I could pick up Fires. One, two, three. I could pick up Fires, play Yorion, and flicker my Omen and my Tamiyo. That doesn't deal with the fact that they're going to be casting my Velomachus next turn. Well, they covered the Onyx in water, Roy. It makes sense. Come on now. Try to stay with it. It's just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like how they do crap like that on Yu-Gi-Oh! Where it's like, that's not something you're allowed to do in the game. It's like, yeah, who cares? The story you just heard, Roy, wasn't true. It was all lies, but they're entertaining lies. To paraphrase Leonard Nimoy. Okay, so they're gonna have my dragon next turn, most likely. I mean, there's really not much I could do about it. I could try to set up to combo them the next turn, and that's what I'm gonna do. If I had a saver here, I could actually cast it. That sucks. Oh well. Felt more like a TEDx talk. Holy crap!
You can run, but you can't glide.
Good lord. Is that Devin O'Donnell? The Doomwake? I don't know why you're rating a washed up nerd like me, but we're just here playing a little bit of the 80 card Yorion Velomachus deck, and it's not going super well, to be perfectly honest with you, compared to the 60 card version. It's clearly good, but it's felt a little shaky and inconsistent. So I'm more interested in the 60 card version, but I thought I would try out the anime will carry us. I thought we were being beaten up by anime. Anime Jund giving us the business. Oh yeah. They're gonna have all sorts of nonsense. They could still play the Velomachus. You ran out of PP for friendship? That's great. The hell are you doing, opponent? There he is. Took you a while. You got there. They still have my Savor the Moment, by the way. Just if anyone's curious, they can still Time Warp. If they play Bring to Light, though, they can't get anything at all off of it. So, but I mean, they have infinite amounts of removal, burn. Velomachus would actually be a pretty hilarious card for Niv Mizzet decks to actually play as a Boros hit. It's a weird mirror match, exactly. Exactly. I think on the play I want Cleansing Wildfire, on the draw I want Veil of Summer. Probably bring in one. I think I want to keep... You find it weird that it's smaller than Niv? I mean, so Velomachus has a specific reason to not be too large because the trigger is based on its power. So I think they wanted to make sure it wasn't like nuts. Trying to figure out how to sideboard in this deck. It's not I mean, obviously I don't have as many reps as the 60 card version, but found a standard deck / card for me to brew around. What's that, Alex? I'm into it, but just what do you want me to do? The deck is Titans, next blue, black, green, control with Time Warps and Shark Typhoon. So that's historic? Yeah, this hand sucks. This hand also sucks. Jeez. Alright, 5 with a Wrenn and Six. Yeah, 5 with a Wrenn and Six. That's what I want to see. Yeah, sure. I mean, hit me with the list, buddy. Oh. Oh my. Roy, you know what you must do. Type it. I don't think I've seen a Yorion deck I like. Are you going to follow that up by saying that this is the Yorion deck you like? Oh, Roy, I finally changed that command. I think you weren't here when I did it. So yeah, Skullclamp, are you thinking that there are some Yorion decks you might like, or you just... What? The Wrenn and Six command. Look at it. Yeah. Because Thalia, killing Thalia with Wrenn and Six is fantastic. Not just 1/1s we're concerned with. Wrenn and Six loves all X1s, most especially killing them. I think my opponent was expecting their Birds of Paradise to stick. Now that it hasn't, they are lost and afraid. Rip Vendilion. Is your name Urza? Urza 100? Urza. Urza 100. That's a sweet name if it is. Si, Urza, Urza. Molto bene. So we kind of have the nuts curve here, huh? Wrenn and Six versus True Name. You know what really grinds my gears? Protection from target player. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea for protection from a player to give protection from all their permanents? So this is Niv. They have Helixes. I would prefer my Teferi stays in play. And if they trophy my Teferi next turn, that's fine. We do have the nuts curve. Look at it, Roy. It's freaking good, man. Plus, we haven't drawn like 3 time walks too early before we hit the dragon. This deck has occasionally had problems with that. Oh, wow, it's even more goofy now. Kind of. I guess what we do this turn is we play Fires into Savor. Yeah. And then we can polymorph on the next turn, even with the Fires in play. Yeah. All right. Because I want to get the Wrenn and Six ticked up as much as possible first. Although, if I go for Velomachus now, then if I hit a single time warp, no, it would have to not be Savor. Yeah. All right. So let's do it that way. Because this way, if I just start chaining time walks, we can just do that. Uh-oh. Well. Yeah, that's better do this now before I hit something else. Wow, we went through a lot of our deck that time. Good lord. Shuffles all other cards revealed this way into their library. Oh, so Polymorph causes a full shuffle? That's weird. Transmogrify. Oh, it's just the same. Okay. Weird. It's also a great piece of art. Look at that thing. So cool. Look at him. It's just a happy boy. Happy dragon. What's the red thing? Reminds you of Malignus. I mean, who, for all I know, it is Malignus. I don't know what Malignus is, so. Wow. I guess I could play the Valakut Awakening? I should do, because, you know, my hand is pretty garbage. Do I want to bounce fires that I might cast this Veil of Summer? I guess I do. Wow. That's pretty good. Okay, so Kaya's Guile will remove my dragon. No, it won't. I can make a dwarf. All right. I think we're pretty golden here. Wow, yeah, it does look exactly like Malignus. All right, who's ready for concession by dwarf? All right, who wants some? Death comes for ye. Boop. All right, I'll sack this one. Shoot. All right, well, What's done is done. Joe Swanson playing Magic. All right! Against Willie? Why? Why is that the pairing? I mean, not that I mind. Do you just feel like that's randomly like an entertaining pairing? High energy. Yeah, that's true. Did you know that the actor who plays Joe, what is his name? I always get it not quite correct. But anyway, that he was the first live action The Tick. Yeah, mill card, mill. You don't think Joe would want to play the crabs? You don't know The Tick? Oh, Roybert. Dab dwee dab dab dwee dow. No, it's an arachnid. He's just a very like incompetent superhero. Amazingly strong, but not smart. Deep babadoo bow, deep babadoo babadoo boo boo bee da doo doo dow. Alright, just go to combat. You're dead, opponent. You're dead. You're friggin' dead. So scoop it up. Sometimes you think of Marvel/DC prints, the equivalent of bad cards. Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, in this particular example, like he's kind of in, like he's like him being like it's a comedy, right? So him being stupid is not like a fault. Patrick Warburton, that's the guy. But I always think he's Warburton. And like, there's a bunch of like very punny other superheroes, like American made. Um, oh, what's the bat's name is German, but it's really funny. Gosh, I can't remember. This was the one with Patrick Warburton. And then this was the cartoon from the 90s. They had a villain called Chairface whose head was a chair. All right. So I think I want the Veils. I think I want to get the Wildfires out on the draw. So something like this. I mean, Veil with Fires is like, but we're keeping the Teferis. I guess if they have turn one Thoughtseize, it's not going to matter anyway, but like, it seems fine. All right, good luck, me. Brian, do you remember the tick? Feel like, oh, Deflator Mouse. There you go. Deflate Mouse. Yeah, American made. Oh, Batmanuel. The Spanish Batman. Yeah. Captain Liberty, Deflator Mouse. Oh, Sewer Urchin. There you go. And his banger. Let's go. Let's go. How's your evening, Brian? Did you manage to sleep? Are you here because there are major issues with the podcast that must be addressed? I didn't Urionify it, Mord. Raging Tilt Monster did. No, not so much King of Susa and Anshan. Anshin. I agree Omen is kind of weak. But the thing is, digging up to 3 cards in a deck that can find combo pieces that end the game is pretty good. And then being able to flicker it with Yorion is fine. So I'm going to Farseek this turn. And then hopefully we peel a land and we can just combo next turn if we want to, or if they've left all their mana up, we'll be able to... I need to brain with my think. We'll be able to play Jace or play Wrenn and Six plus another Farseek or what have you. So we're kind of set up if we do draw land or if we don't. Oh, some of these are from the 2001 series and some of them from the 1994. Yeah, Brian, so you remember the one with Patrick Warburton as the Tick, right? The voice of Joe and Kronk. He is exactly the actor that should be playing the Tick. He is exactly it. But there is a new series on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good. I haven't checked it out, but I heard it's pretty good. All right. We really want to hit the land here. I would prefer to be able to just try to combo them this turn. Did not hit the land. So I could keep up Veil of Summer. Needed GG. No. Wrenn picks up the land, right? So I'm going to hope that this turn they play a Tybalt or a Niv or things of that nature. And the Veil of Summer is useful. Ramping here is not particularly helpful, so we're not doing that. One of the bigger dangers, actually, is if they kill my Wrenn and Six and I just don't draw a fetch land to make a dwarf. That could be a problem. They have infinite mana this turn. This is going to be a problem. This deck being lighter on interactions kind of kicking us in the butt right now. That's so annoying. You're so annoying. I know we are playing that card too, but it's so freaking annoying. At least they can't Unmordigo, but we don't get to blow them out on anything, which sucks. So Although I drew a Dwarven Mine, so maybe things work out. Let's see if they tap down. They don't play Force in Nib, is it? Not normally, no. I mean, it's possible, but it's unlikely. I mean, it's a good thought, King. Yes, they could do that, Roy. Thank you. Well, without the Wrenn and Six, this Time Warp or the Savor are both kind of awful. They left up literally all their mana, and I don't have a Veil. So... yeah. I actually would bet they have double removal here. Not that it matters, because, like, everything's just totally piled on top. But I think we just jam. If we don't hit now, we're just toast. So we just jam, and if they have it, then we're done. So the problem with trying to take some kind of longer strategy here is just like there's not we don't have anything back to back up with, and there's no, what the hell? We don't have anything to get to, and oh, Teferi, right, of course. Yeah. Well, I like my line too until I realized Teferi shut down the dragon. Yeah. So I suppose we needed to find that out at some point. I eventually needed to run into this interaction and go, oh yeah. Yeah, nothing matters. Got it. So 1/2/2 Nimizit. Yikes. Brutality. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Jake. It's not... yeah, I mean, yeah, but we're also playing 4 copies of it, right? So it's not... we were shutting down their Bring to Lights and stuff with it. Yeah. Generally speaking, Teferi is a bigger boon for a deck like this than it is a bad thing. Generally. The fact that it shuts down our combo, like, that's on me. I mean, they just had, like, a nuts curve. Like, they went turn 1 Bird, turn 2 Wrenn and Six, turn 3 Omnath. Like, that's insanity. And we just didn't have the time to do anything else. And the Omnath is exactly big enough to attack down my Wrenn and Six and kill it, so... even if it wasn't, they could have pinged the Wrenn and Six. So essentially, my Wrenn and Six couldn't live. So just being on the draw there, just not gonna get there. All good. I can't believe how often I'm drawing this damn dragon. It is like every match. All right, going to 5 against the Luris deck is bad feeling. But we have the Wrenn and Six, so this is the hand. Putting these 2 on the bottom and praying that we pick up what we need. Hope everything is going well, Jigster. Master Jiggy Viggy. Oh, why were you playing Solemnity in High Tide? What the hell is that? What does one thing have to do with the other? Oh, I should have kept the Time Warp. I have all fetches and Wrenn and Six. Solidarity. Which one's Solidarity? Reset High Tide? What the hell? It's a deck from 2006. Okay. Yeah, I should have kept the Time Warp. Just not playing my best right now. Yikes. Nice, dude. That's amazing. Seal of Fire. Wow. Wow, that's actually really, really unfortunate. This is stupendously good against our deck. They just never have to have mana open to shaft my attempts to do stuff. Even Teferi doesn't stop it. Narset's Reversal and Mission Briefing were the new additions. Gross. I hate one of those cards and dislike the other. It's League though. Yeah. Well, we've just like actually two of our matches were 1-2s, so like they felt pretty reasonable. So I'm not really on the Big Wolf energy, and it was worth testing this version of this deck, but I honestly just think this version is a lot worse for a whole bunch of reasons. Uh-oh. Oh. Weirdly enough, I want to naturally draw Velomachus here, but yeah. I flipped 2 Dwarven Mines. Yikes. You hate to see it. Okay, I'm just dead here, I assume. Cleansing us, sure. That's a Lightning Bolt, draw a card. Love that. That's 8 damage for 1 mana. I was so unbelievably overkilled on turn 4. They could have done at least 6 more damage. Alright. We do get to bring in Chalice and I guess Timely? Tamiyo is not great. Jace seems unnecessary. Oh, Teferi's not great. I keep thinking that maybe I'm sideboarding this deck the wrong way. Like, it's possible I'm supposed to cut some of the polymorph / transmogrify effects in a matchup like this, just because they're so unlikely to resolve, especially in the face of like Seal of Fire. Like, maybe I'm supposed to lean into the turns aspect of the deck and off of the Transmogrify. If that was the case, could do like that. And it kind of generally leads this deck to a shape where we don't get blown out as much. We don't have as quick of a win, but it's just like a much more powerful, grindy, monstrous engine. I'm going to try it out. And then on the draw, I think I want Veil of Summers, because I feel like they're likely to be able to get a discard spell and grab my Chalice. And if I have a Chalice down and my Veils get eaten by it, like, I really don't care. I have a Legacy deck for this iteration, considering that for some reason diluting was supposed to improve our extra turns consistency. Homeopathy. Interesting. I kept a one-lander. I did not mean to do that. My eyes went funny and the Farseek looked like a land to me. I don't know why. Apologies, y'all. Clearly not in the best state of mind to be playing like this. Too much time editing the podcast, etc. today. Okay, well, if we do draw land, we're in business. Everything will be fine? I doubt it, Roy. I doubt it. Not against prowess. They're too fast. Oh my god. Should have played a Chalice on 0, obviously. I don't think we saw any baubles in game 1, so they just were not on my radar. But they should have been. Been a little while since red-black. Jeez. That sucks. My god, does that suck. I mean, I guess I should have played the Chalice on 0 this turn, but now I'm worried about them having the Thoughtseize, and I want to lose the Chalice on 1 because Chalice on 1 is realistically like the only way I'm going to come back now. Don't keep one-landers in this deck, especially in the 80-card version, especially when you're playing a Wrenn and Six deck, people. Just don't do that. Just don't do any of that. I know not to do that, but for some reason I just saw a land here and I thought it was going to be okay. But I think I was like, for some reason, I said to myself, like, this is not only a land, but it's also the Farseek I wanted. Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you just play badly. I'd like to say that it doesn't, but it certainly does to me. All right. So, terrible, terrible way to end that league. That's on me, folks. My bad. So, I don't think I did this deck any justice. We had some tight ones. E-Tron, we got crushed by All Is Dust. Niv, we just had a brutal one. And then Grull... So red, green, Karn, Blood Moon deck. That's a terrible matchup for this pile. Generally speaking, I just think this is a worse version of the 60-card deck with some major differences in style. So this is trying to be a more powerful, proactive deck that's not in any way able to protect its combo other than things like Teferi. It's just trying to go a little more over the top with things like Fires of Invention to make your time warps better. But I think playing Fires of Invention to make Savor the Moment better is just not something you need to do in this deck. Also, reducing the ability of your dragon turn to just win the game is really bad. We had multiple times in this league where Velomachus just either missed or didn't hit a particularly good spell. And on top of that, Fires of Invention is actually super awkward with Velomachus. Not that I couldn't have played better with that in mind a couple times where I realized that that was the case, but it's not as much of a straight upgrade as it seems like it would be. Now, you do have Teferis to bounce your own fires, but I'm not entirely sure that that's where you want to be. And when we switch to the other version, this version's playing Remand and Growth Spiral, so both of these are instants. So not only do you get to have early interaction for your opponent, but your ramping doesn't make you tap down on your turn, go shields down, etc. You have Lightning Bolt for Lightning Bolt. The early interaction is very, very useful right now. And then, because you're playing a 60-card deck instead of an 80-card deck, but with the exact same number of Time Walk effects, I mean, your density on Time Walk effects is just much higher. And then we're also playing Prismari Command, and in addition to this being a great rummaging spell that's also interaction, it creates the treasure token, and the treasure token is something that's harder for your opponent to interact with, and you can Indomitable Creativity it. Yeah. So I'm glad I played this, but I don't know that I would play it again. I mean, kudos to Raging Tilt Monster for the result, and clearly I'm sure they knew how they wanted to sideboard this with this deck. I'm sure after more reps or just talking to that player or what have you, I could figure out what the general shape of the sideboarding plan was meant to be. But as it is, I just wasn't able to really do as good of a job with it as I feel like I am with the other deck. But it was a reasonable thing, so I don't know. I think that's definitely got some quality ability to be great, but certainly not in my hands. And kudos to anyone who can either explain to me all the ways that you can play this better or what have you. Anyway, that's going to be it for me for this evening. If you're in the future on the YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, check out any other videos of mine that you're interested in. For everyone who is here live, we're going to raid the one, the only, the fluffiest of wolves. So enjoy yourselves over there. I am going to go watch Mortal Kombat. If you come by tomorrow, you may get a review on that, I suppose, if you're interested. And otherwise, catch you later. Stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you around.